So what are currently the best warbots in 2025? Well, it's early 2025 right now, so I'm just going to go over it quickly, and I'll go over the top tier, the best bots currently, and it's a pretty hefty number of them, so I'm trying to not take too much on it. Um, so yeah, I'll make another video going over the entire tier list, but now let's get over the best of the best. So the peak meta bots. Leo Prime and Predacon Inferno, what do? They do a ton of damage in a very large area. The way the ability works, they shoot forward a wave of fire, and it goes pretty far-reaching, and it can just burn down a lot of buildings. It applies a speed increase to your team and speed decrease to enemies, which is much more useful than it seems. Overall, just amazing. They do a ton of damage, and they don't even cost that much. Their ability gives a huge energy return. Optimal Optimus and Transmetal to Megatron, similar thing to Leo and Predacon Inferno, except they do fire damage in a circle, as you could guess. It's a bit of a circular radius instead of a line, and just a ton of damage for a very respectable cost. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. They're also very incredible outpost bots, so that also goes for them. Beachcomber and Deluge, another pair of bots that are amazing for outpost and offense. Especially outpost, they are so terribly hard to kill, very annoying. And sending on the supplies to offense. On offense, they have a lot of usability. You can, for example, if your healer is under a lot of fire, you can apply the ability on the healer and pretty much protect it that way. I just want to say that a decent amount of these bots are already covered in my videos. So in detail, you can go check out those videos. Now I'm trying to not take too much time and make video as short as possible, but straight to the point. So yeah, overall very tanky and a lot of utility. Okay, Afterbreak and Flame War, amazing sec bots. Now they can pop outposts from afar, and pretty much, outposts end up wasting their abilities, and that's a pretty big deal because outposts are the strongest defense, outpost and combiner. So yeah, if you can invalidate them, that's a pretty big deal. Also exists as a 5-star, and it's a decent outpost actually. Pretty decent outpost, especially if paired with the Beachcomber and when they're next to each other, so that the Beachcomber makes Afterbreaker also give hacking. That's pretty strong. Okay, Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're so good even as a 4-star. That honestly goes for a decent amount of bots on this list. Even Afterbreaker. Afterbreaker 4-star is also amazing for Prime League. But yeah, really amazing bots. Optimus Prime and Megatron. They're very versatile. Very a lot. A lot of builds have worked for them. Quite simply, they can fulfill a very good support role where they can help with pathing to get your bots grouped up. Overall, very helpful. Roadbuster and Half Shell, they can one-shot pretty much everything except multi-defense systems. And in that case, they can deal super heavy damage to them. They can one-shot them if their health has been reduced by someone like excuse me, Blue Chicken Wild Rider. They decrease health, so in that case, Roadbuster can one shot. Otherwise, he will leave them with a very small amount of HP. That will be an execute range for a Smoke Screen and Breakneck to take out. But overall, he can be comboed with quite a decent amount of bots, and it's very helpful. He doesn't care about any sort of shields. Red Alert and Ranamak. Amazing outposts as well, but also pretty solid on offense because they provide the damage reduction to entire squad, stun immunity, overall survivability based bot. It's also ranged, so it can have something like a nice stick and fracas. The best combat currently who can block healing and spread acid. Pretty strong. Vector Prime and Nova Prime. Relatively recent entry. They came out, I believe, 3 months ago, something like this. They're very slept on, very similar to Rook and Blood, but ranged and more damage oriented. Very strong bots, so they can pop outposts, deal fair amount of damage with it when their decoys explode. They also block healing, I believe. So yeah, pretty strong bots overall. Tasmanian Kid and Antagony. Now they're getting a bit changed because they're going to be released publicly in the 5-star batches. But they're still going to do the same thing, and that's doing a lot of damage in an area. So in that regards, you can still count on them to do a lot of damage in an area, which is what they previously used to do, and they still will. They'll be slightly altered, but still very strong, and their spot will not be changed. So if you have them, they're very good. Trex and Cutthroat. This bot doesn't exist as a 4-star, doesn't have a 5-star yet. Very amazing. It's just so good. Again, it's a ranged bot, so you can have something like a Nightstick and Fracas, but works with plenty of other builds. Support bot that pretty much makes your entire team very hard to kill. Pairs really well with a healer to, he can decrease damage from entire squad and give your healer a bit of a room to heal everyone back up to full health. A very useful bot overall. Air Raid and Slipstream, one of the best area of effect damage dealers in the game, mainly because he does not care about any build bots, he's not affected by any elements, he does normal damage, not elemental, so it also cost is only 3+2, so yeah, it's a combo bot that you have to combo with someone else, but huge range as well, and doesn't care about outputs, huge damage, overall an amazing bot, and it's a jet, so it has naturally very high stats, very high attack stats, excuse me. So yeah, really amazing. Brainstorm and Skyhawk, they're similar to Arid and Slipstream in the matter that they are combo bots, and their range is also pretty solid, but they work more as a domino effect. Basically, if you destroy only one building with them, it will do a respectable amount of damage, but if you manage to destroy two buildings, then pretty much entire cluster that will be blown up that is around them. So overall, they're very strong. I think they're an alternative to Arid and Slipstream. I like both personally. I'm probably leaning more towards Arid, but I love both. Both are amazing in terms of damage. And Brainstorm also has this effect where he can slow down the affected buildings, and that's pretty huge because it's a huge amount of slowdown, and it pretty much cuts a lot of damage that they do. Okay, so Slingshot and Acid Storm. Now, he can do a fair amount of damage. Unfortunately, it's fire damage, which is blocked by build bots. Very popular build bots, because before he used to take out build bots, but now he kinda can't. He also, but he's still very strong jet to use. If you take out those outpost bots a different way, he's very strong jet, and of course, he besides doing fire damage, he also spreads acid or in an area which blocks healing to pair with other, for example, fire damage dealers. So he can be used. He's very versatile. He can be used to deal damage on his own or to combo with other bots and enhance their damage. Very strong overall. SG Jetfire and SG Thundercracker, strong one-shotters, and their decoys that they spawn can also distract, for example, Computron and Leo Kaiser. If you pop them and you put the decoys in an area, they will take away the hack to themselves. And of course, again, solid one-shot bots that they can do a lot of damage in a single attack. Ability is very expensive, so it's pretty much ability to lose only once, maybe twice, but unlikely to use it more. But another redeeming quality is really high stats. He has a much higher stats than any jet in the game, by far one of the highest stats for any ranged bot even. So that's another redeeming quality for him. Overall, he's very solid. Metal Hawk and Bombburst, another recent entry. At the ability level 11 with G1 core, he's an absolute menace because he pretty much makes affected defenses deal next to no damage. So yeah, that's pretty amazing. For example, he can in that way he can pretty much give you a leeway so that you can use only one healer, and you can even drop someone like Trex on Red Alert from the team because he can deal damage in an area and pretty much cut the damage that they do. Same applies to Outpost as well. So overall, he's very useful, much more useful than he seems, and the damage reduction that he does basically it's a form of a slowdown combined with range reduction and things like that. Overall, basically makes defenses not hit you as hard nearly. Wing Saber and Dreadwing are very strong cluster destroyers, also very new. They are currently the latest bots. Extremely powerful one-shotters. They spread glass gas, do some area damage when fully maxed out. Very solid bots. Also go in stealth mode. Can destroy clusters again. Very strong combos to use with them. A lot of single target damage. Can even do area damage if you destroy the single target. They will if they spread some fire damage. They are all very strong and very slept on. But that's probably because they need ability level 11 to really justify being so strong. Because below it they are a bit unexceptional. So yeah, just want to keep in mind. Smokescreen and Breakneck are one of the best gunners in the game. Uh, he just does so much. Kills outposts, kills build bots, huge range, ton of flexibility, versatility, combo potential, extremely strong bot, and also have a video done on him, so do check it out if you want to know about him in detail. Blue Streak and Wild Rider, also extremely powerful bot. They're very different to Smokescreen and Breakneck. Their abilities look similar, but effects are very different. Again, yeah, it's a huge range, but it does different things. It cuts down the HP, for example. It does a lot of single target damage, but not specifically to bots, but to everyone. But also the ability cost is greater. Again, I have a video made on him as well, so do feel free to check it out if you want more details on how to use him. 6 gun and trigger happy. They can do a lot of damage in an area. They do some fire damage, but they also shoot out missiles that do normal damage. So that's also another redeeming quality because the normal damage doesn't care about any build bots. And overall, very strong gunners. Bots like Leo and Optimal are better, but still, they have the redeeming quality of being ranged and being able to carry some really useful combats like Night Stick and Fracas, Cosmic Rust Blaster, Top Shot and Fire Line, very strong combats like that. Also made a video on them. Warped and Skull Smasher are so amazing that even 4 stars so good. Can be used in some strategies where you can use only Warpath and Skull Smasher paired with Ruination and God Neptune to take down entire bases in Prime League. Now, the layout has to be exploitable to it, but overall very strong bots. Also made a video on them, so do feel free to check it out. But seriously strong bots, even as a 4-star, is very useful for Prime League. Can take out build bots, so very flexible. Overall amazing. Sea Spray and Octopunch, very similar to Leo Prime and Predacon Inferno in terms of performance, except they do a tornado. Does damage a lot faster. For example, it does full damage in a matter of 2 seconds, something like this. And it's an electric damage. So just have to keep in mind because it is stopped by lightning rods, but with so much fireproof around, Sea Spray and Octopunch are gaining more traction now because they can destroy a lot of area damage. Overall very strong bots and gunners, so that's pretty cool. If you have them, do feel free to invest into them because they will not disappoint you. Skids and Knockout, they are very effective when it comes to taking down outposts. They spread acid, can be comboed with fire bots. Overall very strong, and again being gunners, they can use some powerful combats like those mentioned previously. Seriously strong bots and very solid gunners to consider using. Pipes and Headstrong, he's an absolute menace. Tank, he's the tank, the definition of a tank. He does acid, he does a slowdown, he's nearly unkillable, ability cost is on a T+1. He taunts, he does everything. He's so strong, a lot of his ability with his bot, very flexible builds. Yeah, just overall amazing, one of the best bots. I have to yet to cover him on my channel. I do have a lot of builds. I do have a lot of videos that feature him, but I never covered him specifically, so I will definitely have to add it to my to-do list. But yeah, overall amazing bot, absolutely menace. And even as a 4-star, he's just so good. Even 4-star is good enough for Prime League. So if you have the 4-star, build it up, you will not regret. Rook and Blot, another bot I covered on my channel, are seriously strong because of their decoy. Decoy can pop outposts and combiners from afar. Decoy also explodes in the area upon that and does huge damage. Also bots that can just very flexible in terms of builds, can be very hard to kill. A lot of just very useful bot overall. Hard to kill, can do area damage, can pop outposts. Very amazing overall. Ironhide and Bludgeon. They can tank, again similar to Pipes, but their cost is T+2, and they do electric damage instead of acid, and instead of slowing down like Pipes, they instead stun completely. So, and their ability also lasts a little bit longer, so there are some trade-offs, like high ability cost, but he does different things that still Pipes is the best, but Ironhide Bludgeon is still very amazing. So if you have them, they're incredible bots as well, especially if you have the 5-star. Really amazing tank. Ariel and Scylla. Some people may not know how to use her because her ability description can seem a bit confusing, but in essence, pretty much does the same thing as Optimus Prime and Megatron. She's used for pathing, again, pretty much the same thing, but the advantage to her is that she's a warrior class, so if you have Titan perks that make warriors immune to stun, she will become immune to stuns. She also has one of the highest HP pulls in the game, very hard to kill with a proper build, and again helps with pathing, buffs this squad, very strong bot. Twin Twist and Koala John, Nightmare is an outpost, very dangerous to outpost to use, very solid on the offense as well, but defense is where they really excel, because they're just so nasty to deal with, very hard to kill, can't be stunned naturally if you have the Titan perks. Nasty, nasty, nasty bot. The best currently for Amalgama score, the best pick is if you have this bot, especially 5-star, if you have the Amalgama score, go for it, because that's currently the best combo version in the game. Okay, Lightspeed and Iron Bison, they are very flexible bots. On offense, they can be used as sacrifice bots to pop outposts. Their G1 core gives them 2 revives, and that also makes them absolutely amazing on defense as well. They also do the blind effect, which is in essence damage reduction. Excuse me, it's meant to be a range reduction, but it decreases them. It ends up making enemies do less damage. Let's just put it that way. That applies to both offense and defense. So overall, they're just amazing, and also combiner components. So yeah, and Nose Corn and Drill Horn, one of the worst bots for a very long time, but now very strong, definitely Prime League worthy. Unfortunately, at the moment of making this video, 4-star has lower range than the 5-star version. Apparently they will fix it sometimes in the future, apparently. But until then, they're very amazing. If you have the 5-star, go for it in the batch, because whole batch is amazing. Absolutely. The Huffer and Lockdown are only duds, but even they are still pretty good if you know what you're doing, even for Prime League. They have their redeeming qualities. But yeah, Nosecone, very strong tank, similar to Pipes and Ironhide in terms of what he does, but can also bust walls, so he has his own gimmick, but very strong tank, very hard to kill. Absolutely a good choice. Minerva and Flightline, one of the most valuable bots in the game overall, best healer by far. She makes sure that your squad does not die, and if your squad is dead, is not gonna do any damage. She makes sure that your squad is not dead, and in that way she can increase the damage overall. So yeah, amazing bot. Whole batch 10 is amazing. Even great as a 4-star. If you have her as a 4-star, she's great to use as well. Perfectly viable, but go for 5-star if you can. Just amazing bot overall. Ratchet and Hook, second best healer. Actually, the second best healer is more of a depending on what you need in your squad. But Ratchet does more healing than other healers who are here. So that's why I put him just below Minerva. Very strong healer. Not quite as Minerva, but very strong. And he also has damage reduction ability level 11 on his ability. So yeah, that's pretty much a great quality for a second healer. If you run these two, your squad is very unlikely to die. You have to play really bad, or you have your squad very underpowered to lose with a double healer setup like these two guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it, covering the best of the best. I want to cover the entire tier list eventually, but I don't want to make this video too long, so if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will reserve every comment. I try to always respond and answer all questions. So yeah, I hope you found this helpful, and have fun.